His dad's an ice dance coach and his mum is a judge, so a lot of depth in the family there as far as figure skating goes. We wish them well. Slightly out of sync on that second set of twizzles. Looked like she was short on a turn. Well, they certainly seem pleased with that. One slight flaw on the second set of twizzles, but apart from that, it looked very, very good indeed. There's a team that impressed me when they burst onto the scene for the first time in the World Championships a couple of years ago, where they finished in 10th place. Dropped a few places last year, and then decided to leave the Dynasty in Detroit Figure Skating Club, where they were trained by Pasquale and Angelica, and now they've moved back to Montreal and working with Marie-France Dubrow and Pascal Lausanne, and they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, the twizzles were better. It was Alexandra, not Mitchell, who had the little fall in the warm-up, and she just caught her edge on the start of those twizzles, but much better. But maybe that put him off just a touch.
It could have done. It was a nasty fall, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So maybe as you're going into it, because you wouldn't expect that, just a touch on edge, literally. But they went fine, the twizzles, and I thought that the start of the routine had more extension to it. I just wondered on the Ravensburger waltz whether it could have had a bit more depth, particularly on the second side. The second side of the partial step sequence, to me, and the top corner of it, was quite simple in its content at this moment. If you take apart the number of turns he was doing, the difficulty of those turns, again, I'd look at it and go, there's not a great deal of content there. It builds to the end. There's a big fanfare at the end. To me, it came out of nowhere, so I didn't expect it, and I'd like it to build to the end. So a bit left with a mix of feelings there. Some super skating within it, but it didn't act as a whole as some of the other routines that we've seen before have left me with. And I didn't get why you just bang a big fanfare on the end. If it builds, great, but otherwise, not sure.
There's another team that are competing in their second event this year. They competed in the Challenger event, the Nebelhorn Trophy, where they finished in second place. And that's a good start early on in the season for them.
It is, yes, and Nebelhorn, of course, at altitude. So it adds an extra dimension to that for your pre-season competition.
Beautiful venue, Oberstdorf. It's gorgeous there. So a 57.55, that just gets him into second.